Hello, my name's Mark Tyrrell and I'm a Director of Uncommon Knowledge. Before you begin to relax deeply, just a few words about public speaking. To perform well during a public presentation and to be realistically confident in the first place, you do need to know your subject inside out. You then have to sensibly structure your talk so that it has flow and hangs together in a coherent way. You have to be sure of your subject. This doesn't necessarily mean knowing absolutely everything there is to know about the subject. But to be truly confident and appropriately relaxed, you have to be prepared to also share knowledge with the audience, which means being prepared to learn from them as well. I always, at least in part, feel I'm sharing information, knowledge and perspectives with my audience, and not just delivering it to them like a letter through the mail. For further practical tips and techniques for use when public speaking, we strongly recommend that you go to our main site and then visit the Public Speaking Knowledge page. The address for the main site is www.uncommon-knowledge.co.uk. However, once practical steps are taken and your speech is in place and prepared, you do need the emotional balance to be able to go into what we call dynamic flow when presenting. Remember, it is not a good idea to be completely relaxed when public speaking. And the reason for this is that adrenaline is your fuel, and you'll need a certain amount to lend you energy and enhance your recall when presenting. We want you to prepare practically for your speeches, and this download, used as often as required, is going to be your psychological rehearsal and preparation so that your unconscious mind is fully primed and expert at producing the right emotional balance and flow to inspire and captivate your audience. Now, what you can do is find somewhere you can be comfortable, maybe somewhere to sit or lie down, where you can really start to relax and feel peaceful. I'd like you to think about resting or sunbathing someplace else. Maybe imagine sunbathing somewhere very beautiful, where the colours are restful, or perhaps imagine sitting in an amazingly peaceful place and feeling your muscles easing and soothing out. Maybe feeling the warmth and rest inside you. And as you rest into a more and more comfortable place, feeling the warmth and calm, notice and watch in your mind's eye that relaxation drifting and spreading up those legs, or around those arms, or into the fingertips, just getting a sense of sort of tingling, calming sensation, drifting through the fingers, even into the air around you, just allowing things to slow down. And as I count from 1 to 10, notice how, just with each count, you relax more and more completely. That's good. And 1, 2, as if the air circulating around you soothes you deeper and deeper. And 3, 4, that's it. And 5, and 6, and 7. It's getting a sense of that rest and calm. And 8, and 9, and 10. That's it. Your body getting what it needs in the form of sort of super rest, and your mind getting what it needs in the way of being grounded and calmed and soothed. And if there'd ever been a time in the past when you'd felt less comfortable speaking to and communicating to others, I'd like to ask you to think about that time, but in a different way, like watching it. That's it. Just observing it from the outside. Totally calmly and curiously from the outside. Like on a movie screen or TV set, playing it at any speed you like, with that imaginary remote control. And as you do that, notice how, strangely enough, you can relax much more fully just watching a time like that from such a distance. And I want you to spend 20 or 30 seconds just watching a time you'd been talking to others before, and totally relax as you just watch that. That's it. And notice what it's like, in a few seconds, to think about such a time in a new way. Recalling such times, feeling totally relaxed and detached and calm. That's it. Now, interestingly enough, I'd like you to notice that time as if watching in the way it could have been and will be. Watching that memory time differently, with a more flowing, relaxed you there. Notice the difference, like watching a different movie of that time. Watching you relaxed, yet dynamic and flowing in that time. So watch that now as you relax deeper. Now, in a few moments, almost as if within a very curious, relaxing dream, notice what it's like, as I count to 3, to just drift into that movie, reliving that time in a very relaxed way. Notice what it's like to flow through the speech, seeing the other people, communicating to them, communication flowing through the whole of you, the whole time, so calmly from the beginning to the end, right the way through. So just drift into your speech now. That's it. Noticing the whole thing with calm and flow. On the count of 1, and 2, and 3. That's it. Remember, it's fine to feel a little empowering tension at the start of your communication to these people, but then just watch how you flow. That's it. And you can play around with reality within your powerful imagination and notice what it's like to be at the end of a speech, feeling as if you really enjoyed it. Notice that sensation and feeling and surroundings after you've done it and enjoyed it. That's it. And you know when you rewind a video and you see the actors as if going back through time from the end of something to the beginning. Notice what it's like for you on the count of 3 to rewind backwards through your speech, for within inside the movie, going very rapidly through every second, seeing everything on the count of 1, 2, and 3. That's it, going very rapidly, experiencing everything backwards very fast, right the way back through the speech, right the way to before it even starts in the first place. That's it. That's it. Going very, very quickly backwards in time. That's it. Like rewinding backwards through time and space to before you even start speaking. That's it. Right the way back very, very quickly. That's it. And now again, just notice fast forwarding through the speech from start to finish in a gliding down, smooth, calm and dynamic, feeling charismatic kind of a way. That's it. On the count of 3. 1 and 2 and 3, flowing through the whole time over the next 10 seconds. And time flies. Right the way through the speech from beginning, middle and end. That's it. And really notice the experience and flow, and taking your time and relaxing with words and body language with your audience. And notice that feeling of inspiring them now. Good. And you can drift into the audience and right now enjoy watching yourself up there and be inspired by watching yourself for a few moments. And then again, drift into the you in flow up there, giving the speech. And notice what it's like to really get into it and flow with it from start to finish again. Just flowing rapidly through time. From the moment you get up to give your speech to feeling good afterwards, just noticing that right now. Now, the more you experience this so perfectly, the better it's going to be. And for now, you can begin to drift back to the room or wherever you've been relaxing and start to reorientate from the count of 10 and 9 and 8, becoming more alert, and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. That's it. Good. Wide awake. Okay, now I'd like you to really notice times in your future when you feel so much more comfortable public speaking. I'm Mark Tyrrell of Uncommon Knowledge. Thanks for listening.